Greetings, everybody. My name is Dexter Kendrick, and I'd like to welcome you to the all-new Heavenly Body TV, the place for relevant astrological advice, psychic instruction, live psychic medium readings, and forecasts for living life. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to Dexter Kendrick's Soul channel so you can be kept in the loop on updates, forecasts, special guests, etc. I have some great stuff coming down the pipe. Now, today, the topic of discussion is going to be on Venus and Leo. Many of us who are familiar with Greek mythology are somewhat aware of Venus's attributes, which are historically love, beauty, fashion, style, charm, magnetism, charisma. Essentially, in astrology, what Venus represents is our ability to draw to us that which we desire. There's two ways that manifests, since Venus is said to be the patron planet of two signs in the zodiac, one which is Taurus and the other one which is intellectual Libra. Of course, Taurus being more sensual and earthy. With Venus being in Leo, let's break this down a little bit. The planets in astrology are the driving force of any birth chart. Whenever you talk to someone about your horoscope, or if anybody is ever talking to you about what's coming down the pipe for you this year, this month, next week, they're always looking at the planets because the planets represent certain psychological processes. I'll reiterate that Venus represents how we connect with other people. Not only that, but how we use our charms and our good nature, our manners, if you will, to negotiate with other people so that we can perhaps get what we desire, draw to us. Venus has a magnetic quality to her. But not only that, what I like to reiterate is that it also helps us in negotiations when we're working in business and personal. So not just personal betrothals or promises to people that we love and care about, but also promises to people that we are talking in contractual arrangements regarding. I'll give you something in exchange for this. And so Venus rules over a number of things in that area. And Venus usually travels through each sign, giving those powers of charm and magnetism a boost for about 3 to 4 weeks at a time. This year, however, Venus has been in Leo since June 5th and is scheduled to move out of Leo and enter into Virgo on October 8th. That's 4 months. 4 months of magnetic energy happening in some area of all of our charts. That is significant with regard to relationships, with regard to negotiations, with regard to commitments, with regard to all of this. And the reason for that is something that we will call a retrograde. So it has appeared in the sky that Venus has begun to move backward for a period of time, beginning July 25th, and then, of course, ending on September 6th, which at the airing of this show will be today. And so during that period of time, what has Venus been doing? What has Venus been doing in our lives? What has Venus been doing for us? Has she been helping us, etc.? We're certainly going to be covering that right here. So as I'll reiterate, the driving force of the horoscope in and of itself are always the planets. So Venus ruling our relationship area, how we find pleasure, sensual pleasures, if we're relating in an earthy way, like when it's in Taurus at home, or when we're relating in an intellectual way, when we say somebody is attractive. There's an essence about someone that we value and find to be something that we might desire or want, how we draw that to us. But Leo, or all the signs, represent how those planets are expressed. So Leo, we'll talk about Leo in a second. Actually, we'll talk about Leo right now. Leo is said to be the sign that rules over fun, spontaneous, relating to other people. You know, when you meet somebody and you smile at them and you try to show them what it is that you're bringing to the table, just through that initial smile and trying to connect with them from the heart space. That is the essence of Leo. We can say that Leo is a fire sign, and the planet that is the patron planet of Leo is the sun. And so if you think about the sun in our solar system, it is the center of our solar system, and all other planets revolve around the sun. And the sun's only job is to provide light. Its only job is to shine, to say, I'm here, take it or leave it. And in our solar system, the sun is actually the main source of life for all living things on our planet. Now I'm going to let that sink in, because the sun drives photosynthesis in our vegetation, which then feeds the herbivore animals, which then, of course, feeds the individuals who eat those herbivore animals, which then on up, depending, on if you're vegan, whatever, wherever you get on and off the food web is your business. But nonetheless, the sun is the driving force of that. And so what happens when we have magnetic, connection-driven, charming Venus in Leo, this very magnanimous and brilliant energy where we are who we are unapologetically, and we allow ourselves to shine. So we say that Leo is a fire sign because it has a spontaneous energy to it. The sun just is. There's no forward thinking about being who the sun is. And so what we've experienced since June 5th, when Venus has entered Leo, is a conversation around our authenticity. Who are we? Who are you? Who am I? Who am I? I know that I might look like something to people who don't know me, and you might be able to identify with this. But that's not the true me. The true me is actually in here. And this is also why in astrology, every sign rules certain body parts. For Leo, it's the back and spine, and it's also the heart. Because when we connect with other people, hopefully, if we're connecting authentically, we're saying, I'm me. This is me. Take me as I am and allow me to shine in my authenticity. And so when Venus comes to visit Leo, she is saying, okay, yes, I'm me, and I'm expecting that I'll be attracting individuals who like the me that I like. And so if you have found that in the past you perhaps have not been utterly authentic with yourself, you'll be attracting significant people in different areas of your life. But I want to keep it general right now so I can touch a broader people who can understand what I'm saying. But you'll find that it's either in alignment with the true self, or you're going to have to be keeping up some kind of an act in order to hold on to something that is no longer valid. Now I'm going to let that sink in, because I'm not just speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself as well. This has been the process for all of us during this period of time that Venus has been in Leo. But what happens when Venus goes retrograde? Essentially, when Venus comes to a sign and visits an area of our chart, we can think of positive times, good times, charming nature. People are more easily swayed in our direction, so we have more of a chance to get what we want, especially for Leo, since this is the sign she is currently blessing with that energy. It's blessing us all in a different way in different areas of our chart, but that's another segment. Nonetheless, so what happens when Venus begins to go backward? And so all these charming and positive aspects that we attribute, that we assign to Venus, show their shadow side. So now what happens is every 8 years, Venus goes what we call retrograde in a sign, or appears to move backward in a sign. And what that allows us to do is it allows us to go backward and take a look at how we've been behaving, how we've been connecting with other people authentically, but more so because it's retrograde. See, authenticity is something that usually comes when Venus is going direct. But inauthenticity is what we have to acknowledge about ourselves when she goes retrograde. This is the time when we look at parts of ourselves that perhaps we've allowed to slip through the cracks, and we've been playing a role, a facade that is not true to our heart nature. And so during this period of time, from July 25th up until September 6th, we've been taking a look at all of our relationships and how they truly meet our needs or not so much. And that is the essence of Venus retrograde. And she has done this every 8 years since the beginning of time, but every 8 years in a specific sign. And so what that means is the last time that Venus was retrograde in Leo was about 2006, 2007. And so you can look at your relationships at that time and where authenticity began to be an important conversation for you in your relationships, both business and personal. And so what you'll find is that at the end of this transit, you have 4 months of taking a look at how you're relating to people, who you really are, and how you'd like to present yourself. Now, I want to add here that there is nothing wrong. Leo also rules all forms of creativity and self-expression. There is nothing wrong with putting on a hat. Like, for example, myself, I also sing. So I'll wear that hat at times where it's appropriate, and I may even embody a certain quality because that is my role that I'm adopting for the sake of fun. Because, like I said, Leo rules fun and connections of the heart and spontaneity. But if I attempt to wear that role all the time in all my other roles in life, it may be inappropriate because I will have to act and behave in a way that is not in alignment with who I am in here. So the spontaneity of life requires that we be flexible enough to move in and out of certain characters. But if you've had to adopt a character that is not authentic to who you are and built certain relationships, even personal relationships like lovers, or business relationships like said that you will be in a certain job or a position, etc., for a certain period of time, and then you notice that it's not truly feeding you, then you perhaps have entered into a healing crisis during this period of time from June up until October. Some people will find that with Venus retrograde, they will be let go of their jobs because it has become apparent that they're no longer in alignment with the position that they originally adopted. Some people will find that in their current relationships, there is a divide between partners. There is some kind of something that comes up, either it's spoken or unspoken, that causes a rift in the relationship that can no longer be reconciled. And it's usually because there have been things that have been building up beneath the surface that haven't been acknowledged. And so Venus retrograde goes back and scours all of that information through our heart space. Some people may also notice heart palpitations, difficulty falling asleep, spinal or back problems as a way for the body to signal that there's something in your life happening that is perhaps not being addressed. And so what is happening here as this phase comes to an end is that Venus has scoured all these areas of our relating so that our authenticity follows us into every aspect of our lives moving forward. We won't have to have this conversation again for another 8 years. It certainly will show up more often than this just now in other areas of our lives, but at least for now, that's not the case. Now, there are some other significant things happening for Leo this year, some other awesome and amazing things happening this month regarding our spiritual growth, our personal growth, etc. But I just wanted to talk about Venus in Leo and its importance that we take a good look at ourselves and inside here and ask ourselves, what is truly authentic? Who are we? What are we here to do? And are we handling our business? Are we about our business? Are we handling our business? And can we give ourselves permission to do so? And I will end this on a great statement from the beautiful poet, Oriah Mountain Dreamer. And when she says, I don't care if what you're saying to me is true. I want to know if you can disappoint another in being true to yourself. That is the essence of Venus retrograde. You have to take a look at yourself, acknowledge yourself, and then you can allow your light to shine. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to Dexter Kendrick Soul Channel for more forecasts, updates. I'm going to have live psychic medium readings. I am also a psychic medium. It's going to be my pleasure serving you. I'm so happy to have entered into this phase of my walk spiritually. And I'm looking forward to it. Please be blessed and have a great day. Thanks.